We're entering earnings season, and earnings season presents buying opportunities, trading opportunities, investment opportunities, because of earnings are either going to be exceeded, met, or disappointed. In the case of disappointment, then we need to recognize that maybe we need to sell something prior to earnings season, or we need to be in a position to buy it because the disappointment, particularly if it's wrapped around the coronavirus, is going to be a temporary event. To illustrate that, we know that when the coronavirus started shutting down our economy, most stocks, all stocks, dropped substantially and created some buying opportunities. It's why I was lucky enough that I had gone to cash, 100% cash, last July, not because I knew anything about a coronavirus, but I was concerned about our national and our corporate and our individual debt situation, that I was sitting in cash, that I had a tremendous opportunity to buy into the stocks that I wanted to own at ridiculously low prices. And that's why at one point, I was up 61% for the year, and now I'm about 51% up for the year. So we need to recognize that this event, earnings season, is going to create some opportunities, and then do our research so that we can anticipate what's going to happen. Now, this is where the tribe gains its strength. This is where the tribe gains its advantage, because each one of us, 50,000 subscribers, have different backgrounds, different interests, different work exposures, that we have information that other people don't have. Okay? To illustrate that, I published a letter, an email that I received in my morning letter not long ago from an individual who's in the furniture business. And he included an extensive letter from one of his suppliers saying that he needed, as a furniture distributor, to anticipate rising prices because of the supply chain breakdown, because most of the furniture was coming from foreign ports, and thus there would be price increases because of the higher cost of shipping, because shipping was in such demand that the shipping companies were charging higher prices, and just because of the disruption of the supply chain, that they should expect some higher prices. With that piece of knowledge, and then some understanding of how it's going to affect companies like Wayfair, we can then read into it and say, how is that positively or negatively going to affect Wayfair? When is Wayfair's earnings statement, and what might we be able to anticipate from that? Now, why would this be important? Because most people won't do this. Some analysts will, but the majority of the market won't. And even when the analysts do, the majority of the market isn't astute enough to pay attention to make a decision. So we need to, first of all, I believe, look at our individual holdings and start asking the questions, from what I know, what is going to be the effect on their earnings, and how should I react? So I own 7 stocks, so I'm going to relate it as I look at this, and then you can do the same for your holdings. The first announcement will come from Amazon on October the 22nd. The second will come from Google on the 26th. The third will come from Microsoft on the 28th. The fourth from Apple on the 29th. The fifth from Facebook on November the 4th. And then followed by Tesla and Square. So those are my holdings. So now what I want to do is do as much research as I can, read as many articles as I can, take the information that I may have limited access to make a decision as to whether I want to continue to hold what I have, sell something that I have, or buy something more that I have in anticipation of what I think that report is going to tell us and how confident it is. Now, why might I have some information that most people don't have? I work for Google. Yeah, I work for Google, and Google's biggest asset or biggest income source is advertising. I have an insight into Google's advertising revenues because I get analytics every day on my videos, and I can compare that to past analytics. I can then also go to various websites and see what the effects are and what the traffic is on other Google or YouTube websites, and I can make a decision based on the information that I have. Now, what I've also decided, because I'm been accused of manipulating the market on my behalf by giving information and serving my own benefit, I'm not going to share with you here on YouTube either today or in the future as I gather more information and make decisions, because I don't want to be accused of trying to manipulate the market for my best interest. What I will do, though, is share my findings with you on our Discord. If you aren't familiar with, first of all, Best of Us Investors, our tribe, I put out a morning letter every morning that the market is open, and you can get access to that by going to bestofusinvestors.com, and I will send you that letter. In that letter, you will find a link to our Discord, what I call our village, where part of our tribe gathers and shares information. Within that letter, or within that Discord, there is a section that is going to say Carrie's Insights. On that section, that is where I will share with you what my findings are and also what I gather from other tribe members as to what their insights are as to how the various stocks are going to be affected by their earnings statement, which is coming out probably between the middle of October and the middle of November. And also, of course, in that same period of time, we're going to have an election. So what I want to drive home here is that this is the power of the tribe. Much as I have no knowledge of the furniture business, much as I have no knowledge of the chicken business, but I do know somebody in our tribe who knows that extensively, that could probably share some information that would have some relevance to Tyson, to Southern Farms, whatever. In the tribe, in the Discord, we're going to share that information to other tribe members. And that's the power of what we're doing. So I want to ask you, first of all, to join the tribe, particularly if you are an astute investor and want to gain further knowledge and share knowledge, both giving and taking, with other tribe members. I want you to go to bestofusinvestors.com and register and become a member, and then become a member of the Discord. My whole objective is to create a group of people with a common interest who want to learn about investing. Maybe you're not an astute investor, or maybe you're a very astute investor and you want to gain more knowledge. You want to gain an advantage, because truly, if we can get up to 500,000 members, we have a real advantage, because some of you are going to be engineers working in the oil fields in Saudi Arabia. And you're going to know more about this oil business than 99% of the people in the world. And you're going to see the upsurges and the downsurges. We're probably going to come up with somebody in the tribe who works in a Tesla factory, who is going to be able to give us some insights, not inside information, but just being able to measure the movement and the activity, which can give us some insights as to what we might expect to happen, and thus we gain an advantage. You have to know that if you're running a multi-million-dollar hedge fund, you're doing this same thing. You are finding sources for information that will give you an edge, that will give you 60 hours of notice before something happens. This is what the stock market's all about. It's the smartest guy who sits down at the poker table and has the most information and has the greatest understanding of the game that he's playing that wins, and wins consistently. And again, I want to reiterate that the casinos work on a 25 to 30% profit margin, meaning that 70% of the bets in the casino are winners. And yet 90% of the people who leave the casino are losers. That's the same in the stock market. If you don't have an advantage, if you don't have a leg up, you're fighting a losing battle. And that's what Best of Us Investors Tribe will give you. It will give you the minds of other people, the insights of other people, the information of other people to help you make a better investment decision. And that's just where we start. Because beyond that, we have to understand the ramifications of the decisions that we make. If we decide to sell something at this point, and we incur, and it's in a non-qualified account, and we incur some form of tax exposure, how does that weigh out against the potential profit that we might make by performing that action? If we're going to absorb a 25% tax exposure, then should we just hold what we've got, or should we move forward? That's, again, something we will teach in the tribe. The other thing we need to understand, did we get involved in Nicola and we have a short-term loss that will offset our short-term gain if we decide to sell some of our Amazon or Facebook? If those will offset each other and we understand that, then our decision, the process changes. So we need to understand how not only our investments work, but how our tax exposure works. So these are the kind of things that we teach in the tribe. We're going to create a tribes university so that we will give you access to knowledge that will bring you up to speed and, again, give you an advantage, not so much to what to buy and what to sell, but how much you get to keep. And then beyond that, estate planning, how much you get to pass on in the form of family wealth to your heirs. That's the message, and that's what I'm doing this week. I'm going to try to find opportunities that are going to present themselves as a result of the coming earnings season. What I'm doing is just not buying and selling and trying to capture profits. I'm managing my portfolio. Take this as your next step. Manage what you've got and maximize your profits. Understand short-term and long-term capital gains and how they relate to each other, and also understand that short-term capital losses can offset short-term capital gains, as long-term capital losses can offset long-term capital gains. This is about becoming a better student of the activity which you choose to participate in. If you don't become a better student, you're just blowing in the wind, and you're going to lose. This is a game, and it is a zero-sum game, because on every trade, there is a winner and there is a loser. And right now, you are entering a season of opportunities. Won't be as big as the season of late March, but it is a season of opportunities. So study it and learn it, and come to bestofusinvestors.com, register, and then go to the Discord and become an active member of the tribe. We will grow together if you will share your knowledge, your experience, your expertise.